Once a 2-minute review I'll take on the previous sessions. Maybe some new joiners are there today. Once I'll take a small review on last 2 sessions. Yeah. See, in the last 2 sessions we have a small introduction on Pega PRPC, what is Pega tool and what is its purpose in the industry. See, Pega is a application development tool, so we'll not use any programming here. It is just a drag and drop tool. Okay, so the totally it's a drag and drop thing will be there in the application design. So where all the features are built in the application, just by using those features we can design web applications. Okay, so here it's like a automated tool. Pega is a automated tool. So it's like a so many, it's a latest trend in the market. It's not there, it's there in from 1990s. Okay, from 2000 it started as a application development tool. It is a mostly we can call it as automated tool. So where everything is automated in Pega, nothing to do manually. Okay, so right now latestly so many technologies changing to automation, but Pega it is there from the past 15-20 years. Okay, so it is automated tool where everything will be work will be automated, nothing to do configure manually like databases or server. Everything is automated in Pega. See, why automation is used in Pega is most of the thing will be reusable. Okay, so here not everything. So something we have to do, few things we have to create, and those things we can reuse again and again. Okay, so there automation occurs. So when automation occurs in software means whenever there is a reusability, then automation will automatically occur. So here also in Pega also it's automated tool where most of the things are built in the application, all the features are built in the application, and few things we'll create as a developer and we can reuse them again and again. Okay, the same features we can reuse again and again. So here when comparing this Pega with a programming language like Java or any other CRM technologies or .NET or anything, so here the development time is very less, production costs are very less. So when automated tools are used automatically, the benefit will be for both. Benefit, the clients will benefit and the organizations also will get benefited. Okay, because the development costs are very less here. The manpower is very less. So automatically, so there were so many resources are there and so many projects are there. Okay, new projects are coming. So right now every company is going with this automation tools, and Pega is one of the top tool in the current market. Okay, I can say Pega is one of the top tool in the current market. So most of the market is occupied, Java market is occupied. Okay, so CRM market is occupied by Pega applications. Okay, so we once if in detail I have given the information in the previous 2 sessions. You can refer those sessions and how to open the application. Okay, how to log into the application, and inside the application what are the basic things are there I discussed in the last session. That is nothing but Pega Designer Studio. Okay, so that is a platform given for us for designing and deploying the applications inside the developer portal. Okay, so that platform is nothing but a portal, which is nothing but a developer portal. So inside that portal we can design web applications. Okay, so totally drag and drop and point and click. So in today's session, first of all we are going to discuss about how to generate an application, how to generate a new application. Today we'll see. And yesterday I discussed some terms. Okay, once refer to the last session, you can understand very clearly. So nothing, only technical thing only we have discussed. Okay, so today we will start the practicals. So today's session I'm going to show you new application setup. See, if you want to start any project in this Pega application, so first thing you have to do is a application setup. And further, internally Pega contains some tools are there, and in the real time it will not be done by you. It will be automatically configured by the business analyst. Okay, in the real time this task will not be done by developers. Business analyst will take care about all this application setup process, and some lead lead architects also can involve in this process. Okay, so but in personal edition, if you want to do this, means if you want to start any new project, means we have to do by ourselves only. So what is the process to do this application setup? We'll see today. See, application setup, in order to configure this, first we have to log into application. So using the default ID. Okay, so default ID, we have to log into application. So we know what is the default ID: administrator @pega.com, and password is imstall. So, and I already showed you how to start the server and how to open the application. Okay, so generally when the installation is done, you can find some icons in the desktop. Okay, so one is startup icon, so which will start the server and it will open these command prompts. So these command prompts will open and it will start the server, and also it will start the database. So minimize this. Okay, it will take a minute. After that you have to minimize them, then click on this login icon. It will open the application in a browser. Okay, you can use any browser. Enter the default ID and install his password. Okay, log into application. So from this default ID we can configure this setup, and internally, in order to start this setup, from application menu, there is an option called new application, and from this option, if you click on the new application, it will navigate to tool called DCO tool. Internally Pega contains some tools and widgets will be there. So first it will open DCO tool, and inside the DCO you will have one more widget called application express widget. Application express widget. So in order to configure this application setup, we will be using an internal tool called DCO, and inside the DCO there is one more tool called application express. Okay, inside the application express, it will take all the information regarding that application. What is the application name, organization name, how many modules are there in this application, all that information it will take, and we can generate that application. Okay, it will automatically configure the structure for that application. Okay, a structure will be created and user IDs will be created for this application. So it will be taken care by the tool itself. Pega contains some internal tool. Just we have to give some basic information and automatically it will generate that application. So let's see how to start this application setup. So from the default ID, in the header you can say menu called application menu. From application menu, click on new application option. So in order to start a new application, click on this new application. Okay, it will open some widget. Okay, here you have to select. Okay, this is a page, we can call it as a DCO. So DCO full form is its internal tool. It is used by the business analyst in the real time. Full form is direct capture of objectives. Direct capture of objectives. So it will take the information given by us. In the real time means it will be taking the information given by the business analyst, and it will automatically convert into executable software, and inside that we can log into the portal and we can work on that application. Okay, so it will convert all the means what are the information we give in this application DCO tool. It will convert into an executable software, and where automation process will automatically start. Okay, so inside this application, so just click on enterprise application by default and click on this button. Okay, just regarding this, if you want the information, you can refer here. So you can direct capture of objectives and turn into executable software and execute the right process for your customers and business every time, and it will automate and manage all the work we do in this application. Okay, just in order to start this setup, click on this option button. So click on this application, create new application button, and from this it will navigate to application express tool. Okay, internally DCO contains application express. Here we'll have 4 steps will be there: application settings, business objectives, case types, and data types. Okay, so these 4 options you'll be having. So we have to fill the information, means in the real time business analyst will give the information here, what is application name, and all this stuff they will enter, and automatically they will generate this application. So this application express, you cannot find the name anywhere. If you want any information regarding this entire thing, so for every topic, means whenever you are working on any topic regarding this, if you need any information, there will be help option will be there. Okay, if you click on this help option, you can find the detailed information regarding this. So what is application settings? Okay, inside this what are the options we have, you can find the detailed information. Okay, so next option is there, right? Defining business objectives. What is the business objectives? Again, what is adding case types? So regarding this application express, you can find the entire information here. Okay, so any time if you want to refer anything on any topic here. Okay, currently we are in the application express page. So regarding this, if you need any information, just click on help option. You can find the detailed information here. Okay, about what is what. So what is application name, what is description, what is built on application, what is application structure, so okay, what is organization, all that information you can see, and it will contain some advanced settings will be there. So if you want to more information about the advanced settings, when you click on the link option, you can get the information there. Okay, I'll show you, I'll give the information. So it's very simple, just we have to enter the application name. So let's give some application name. Okay, city bank I'm giving as a application name. Okay, automatically it will take the same description. And built on application, next option you can see is built on application. See, built on application is nothing but in the default ID, what is the default application we have in the default operator ID. What is the default application we have? Pega Rules is a default application, and in this application only we are creating this setup. So automatically this application setup we are configuring under this Pega Rules application. So we are building this new app under this Pega Rules application. So automatically it will take the built-on application as Pega Rules. See, if we get the options automatically, no need to change those options. Okay, whenever you get the options automatically, no need to change those options. If there is any option given for us to give the name, then we have to fill. If you are getting any default options, no need to change them. So built-on application is nothing but Pega Rules is a built-on application here. And application structure, so we are configuring a new application, right? All the new applications will have a default structure as implementation only. Okay, so we are going to configure a new setup, and inside that it will create a setup for us. There is some class setup it will generate. Okay, implementation class it will generate. So inside that we can call it as work pool also. After generating the setup, I can explain about that one. Okay, so automatically the structure will be implementation only for the new applications, and it will ask you for the organization name. Okay, so if you are giving the application name as city bank, organization name you can give as city. Okay, city is the organization name you can take. Okay, and there is an option called configure advanced settings. So if you click on, there is no need to fill any options, just what are the options we have given. Based on these options, it will automatically configure the advanced settings. So just if you want to view them, just click on configure advanced settings. So automatically it will take the same information given in the application settings, application name, structure. Okay, built on applications. Okay, and it will generate the implementation layer. Okay, I told you, right? It will generate something called class, a default class it will generate, that is nothing but the implementation class. And how this implementation class is divided means it will contain 3 layers. Okay, so it will contain this implementation class contains 3 layers. One is called as and these layers will be automatically generated. So one is organization layer, second one is application layer, and third one is type of class layer. Okay, so what is the organization name we have given? See, previously we have given application name, then organization name is given in this setup. See, based on application name, so application name is given as Citibank, and organization name is given as just city we have given. So based on these names, it will automatically configure the class here. Okay, so city is the organization name, Citibank is application layer, and work is a class group. Actually, Pega application contains different class groups. After this setup, I will explain about the class groups. So, but by default, it will generate a work class. Okay, by default, it will generate the work class here. So, about the classes, class layers, and class groups and all, I'll tell you after this setup. Okay, so here the implementation class name will be like this: city hyphen application name is Citibank hyphen type of class group work. So this is the main structure of this application. Okay, under this we can call it as it's a main instance of this application. So under this instance only we are going to save all the work in this new application. Okay, so this is called as a implementation class, or we can also call it as a work pool for the application. Okay, anybody in interest, they'll ask you what is the work pool used in your application means we can mention this like this. Okay, this is the work pool for our application, or we can also call it as a implementation class, or we can also call it as class group for the application. So different names we use in different scenarios. So we can call it as a work pool, we can call it as a implementation class, we can call it as a class group. Generally, class group, why I'm saying class group means because application contains different class groups. Okay, generally Pega application contains different class groups. What are the different other class groups means? So this is one class group, work is one class group. Similarly, we have already in the backend, when we complete the application setup, automatically it will be generated. So the other class groups we have is data class group and integration class group. Okay, work is also, so this is a work class group. So right now this is a work class group. Similarly, application also contains other class groups, data class groups and integration class groups. Okay, in after the application setup, when you open the new application, I'll show these options. So here the 3 layers in the implementation class are organization layer. So all these things you will never create in the real time base. By the time you log into the application, all these things will be ready for you. Okay, so no need to worry. These things you'll never create in the real time by yourself. Okay, all the things will be ready. Application setup will be ready. All these class layers will be ready for you. Okay, only thing you have to do is, so when I tell you tomorrow's session, I'll start the setup, means the work, how to start the work. So this setup is, you must have a knowledge on this setup compulsory, because when you work on any application, the same structure will be there. Okay, so anytime if you work on applications, so this basic knowledge must be there, because without this basic knowledge, if you work also, there is no purpose. Okay, so you must know what is all these classes, how these classes are generated. So you must have some basic knowledge on all these things. Okay, so but automatically based on the information given. Okay, so application name and based on the organization name, all these things will be automatically configured. Okay, so different layers will be generated and different class groups will be automatically generated. Okay, here just you can see the sample, what are the things it is going to generate. Okay, so we didn't, no need to modify anything, just click on save. So based on the information given in the application settings, it will configure all those things. Then click on next option. Second step is business objectives, and regarding that, if you need any information, you can refer to the help option, guys. I'll share the documentation for this today along with the recorded session. I'll give the notes and documentation for this, and also if you have any more reference if you want to get, you can refer in the help option. Okay. Next, business objectives. So here in the real time they'll enter what are the objectives of that application. They can enter in the real time. So here if you don't give also not a problem. Just I'm giving a one line message, new application input. Okay, generally in the real time they'll give it like a project objectives, what are the things they are going to add, all the business objectives they will add in the real time. So here not required. If you give or if you leave this step also not a problem. Then click on next option. Next is case types. Okay, yesterday I have given a small information regarding this. So case types are nothing but modules. So one application if you want to divide into different parts, so we can divide into different cases. Okay, so each name we can enter here under the case types. How many modules you want to divide this application? Accordingly, we can divide into different parts. So I'm giving some different names, like a different module names I'm giving, not related to the banking only, some related to the some other part also, because when I work on the application only banking means I cannot show all the scenarios here. So I'm giving different kinds of names here. One I'm giving as loans as one module. Okay, case type is nothing but a module here. Okay, so your application, how many modules you are going to divide, you can give in the case types. Okay, I'm going to give 2 to 3 names. So Paytm I'm giving as one module, and for some sample exercises I'll give a module name as sample. So I'm taking 3 modules. If you want to manually enter also, later we can add manually. Okay. So right now maximum, but in the real time maximum at the time of application setup only they'll give all the case information, because before starting the project only they'll be gathering all the business requirement, and they'll have all the information how many models we must generate for this application. Okay, and what are the different names we have to give for the modules. They'll have all the information before generating this setup only. Okay, because they'll be working 2 to 3 months before gathering this starting this project. 2 to 3 months they'll be working gathering the requirements on all the things. Okay, so then automatically before the setup itself they'll have all the information what application they are going to generate and what modules they are going to do. They'll have the entire information. Accordingly they'll give the case types. Okay, next is data types. So data types as of now no need to create, depend upon our requirement manually we are going to add the data types. Even in the real time also maximum in the application depend upon the requirement only they'll generate the data types. Here data types are nothing but tables. Okay, so here generally in other applications also will have tables, right? So database tables will be there. So here also in Pega also we are going to add the tables in the inside the application only, not outside application. Inside Pega application only we can generate the tables. So in this application setup, no need to add any data types. So we are going to add new data types later, depend upon the requirement. So whenever the work is assigned, depend upon the requirement, we can add tables. If you want to load any data, we can load the data also. So as of now, we'll give this information. Then click on create button. It will start the setup now. Okay. So now it will start the setup, means it will generate the things in the backend. It will generate all the things, required things like classes and all. It will generate. Okay, application name, rule set names. Okay, and operator IDs. First thing is it is going to generate the operator IDs now. Operator IDs are what? Nothing but user IDs. So for this application it is going to generate different portal IDs: admin portal, okay, manager portal, user portal. And in the new version, okay, in the 7.2 there is one more thing called other. So that one also it's newly generated. I'll tell you in the differences. I'll cover that options. It will take few seconds. So from the default ID, we'll create this setup, and from after this application setup is completed, you can log into the application using the new IDs. Okay. So congratulations on creating your new application. As part of creation process, the system generated the following operators. Operators are nothing but here user IDs. See, we can also call it as operator ID or user ID. See, operators are nothing but, see, what is operator? Operator is nothing but a developer here. So operator ID is nothing but developer ID, the ID given for the developer to log into application. Okay, or we can also call it as user ID. So every developer, see, right now as part of application setup, these IDs are generated. The default IDs are admin at the rate. Based on organization name, these IDs get generated. So if you give the organization name as city, based on that organization name, these IDs get generated. If you give any other organization name, for example HDFC, it will generate the operator ID with the name admin at the rate HDFC. So whatever the ID or whatever the name you have entered in the organization, based on that organization name, these operator IDs gets generated. If you give any other ID or any other name in the organization name, based on that it will generate this operator IDs. So now operator IDs generated are four IDs will get generated: admin at the rate, so similarly user at the rate. So about the other portals I'll discuss later. So now all the design and development we are going to generate on the admin ID. Admin ID is nothing but developer portal ID. All the designing and development deployment we'll be doing under the admin portal. About the user portal, manager portal and other portal, I will cover in the coming scenarios. Okay. So now the total design and development we are going to do under the admin at the rate city, and for all the above IDs, the default password is rules. If you want to change, once you log into the admin portal, we can change. Okay, if you want to change the password for this ID, we can change it manually. But what in the real time, everyone will not use the admin ID. I mean to say, from this main parent ID, actually it is a parent ID. From this parent ID, we can add any number of operator IDs for the developers. This is a parent ID. From this parent ID, we can add any number of operators. Means 100 developers are there. For 100 developers, we can add 100 IDs separately. Okay, how to add operator IDs also in the coming scenarios you'll get. Okay, that is not your task, but I'll show you. Okay, how to add operator IDs separately also. So right now in the, because we are only working now. Okay, you are personally working in your laptop. So there are other developers are not in the company, means so many developers will work. So they'll create a separate ID for each and every developer. As of now, we are only working in our application. In this server, we are only working. So no need to create a separate ID. We can directly use the parent ID only. Okay. So from this parent ID, we can add any number of IDs for different developers. Okay. So that one, how to use that, how to create the operator ID separately, I'll show it in the coming scenarios. There is a separate topic you will get, routing service level. At that time, I'll discuss about the operator ID creation also. Okay. As of now, all the design, okay, I'm going to do in this admin at the city, and default password is rules is default password. Okay. Okay. For each operator, assign the default password is rules. Now log off and sign back as admin at the city to access this application and continue building your product. Okay, so this setup is mandatory. So without this setup, we cannot start a new product. Okay, means any new project if you want to start. So this setup is mandatory. It's very simple, right? What are the things we did? Just enter the application name, organization name, and case types. Okay, it's very simple. Internally, Pega contains a tool. Even after the installation is completed, you can follow the same steps. And coming to the names, if you want, you can give different names. Okay, if you want to give same names, means you can give, it will be means in the next task and all. From tomorrow's, what are the task I do, all the things I'll be working in the same ID. So first of all, try to create the same name, and parallelly you can start one more application. Okay, parallelly we can work parallelly on another application by using different IDs. So as of now, so first of all, create the application with the same names, because it will be there will not be any mismatch, will not be there. So what are the work I do? First of all, practice. You can practice the same thing in this application, and later you can practice using another application also parallelly. Okay. So first of all, one second. Yeah. So first of all, try to create the same application, and later you can add, you can try one more application parallelly. So log out from this application now. So in the real time, no need to worry. So this ID, this operator ID creation, application creation and all will be done by the business analyst. Okay, you will not work in the real time regarding this application. But compulsory you must have a basic knowledge on this. So now log into application using this ID, admin at the rate, city, and password is rules. Okay, rules is default password. So log into application, it will log into developer portal. Okay, so this is nothing but a developer portal. What are the options we have seen in the last session? Same options you'll get. So same header, explorer panel, toolbar panel. So same options you'll get without any change. Okay, it will give a welcome message, welcome to your new application. It's a first time, for the first time it will show this thing. What are the cases we generated? What is the description we have given? Application name, business objectives. Okay, so by default internally, I told you, right, BPM suite will be there, and internally Scrum methodology will be used. Okay, so that is loaded internally in the backend. So by default all the things will be generated. So just close this. It's a one time, it will show the welcome message. Just close this one. Now what are the other things we have to see is in the application menu. You can see the name as Citibank. Okay, so previously in the default ID it is Pega Rules, right? Now you can see the default application name as Citibank. And coming to the Cases Explorer, coming to the Explorer panel, in the Cases Explorer you can see what are the names we have given. 3 case names we have entered. You can see all the cases and how to configure these cases in the even in the real time. This case configuration means after opening the cases, they'll define the main process. That one I'll show it in the next 2 sessions. You'll get this topic, how to configure these cases and all. At that time, I'll tell you. Okay, so just case names are generated. If you open these cases, there will be something called stages configuration and process configuration. Okay, so different things will be there. Data model part. Okay, then in the life cycle, we can see the process configuration, stages and process. I'll tell you in the next sessions, you'll get these topics, how to add the stages. Okay, how to define the process and all will be there. Okay, this is the main thing inside the case, means how the business flow, means how many stages. Again, say application we divide into different modules. Again, each module contains how many stages in process we can define inside a case. Okay, I'll show you in the next scenarios you'll get, not now. So when I get the particular task, when we were working on that particular task, so in that particular scenario I'll cover these things. So like that, every case contains this option, so where we can define the stages and process. And in the app explorer, if you see, so previously in the default ID, there some default class names will be there, but you can see the exact structure of this app explorer. Okay, see, based on the information we entered in the application settings. Okay, so at the time of application setup, what are the information we have given? Based on that, it will configure all these classes here. So this green leaf icon is nothing but a class in Pega. Okay, so these classes are generated by default based on application setup. So what is this class? I told you, right? Some implementation class is generated. So this is nothing but implementation class. Okay, so automatically, so based on the information given, some layers are generated, right? So this is nothing but a implementation class, or we can also call it as, so different names we can use, right? We can also call it as work pool or work class group. Okay, so practically in technical term we used to call it as a work pool for the application. Okay, what is work pool means? this is the work pool for this application. And in the entries they may ask you how many work pools are there for your application. Means remember, one application contains only one work pool. We cannot have multiple work pools for single application. Okay, so one application contains only single work pool only will have. Okay, in order to compute whether you are a real time or just they'll test you. Okay, how many work pools used in your application. Means remember, we have to say, so your application contains only one work pool. So, and when you keep any project, right, so try to prepare some work pool name for the project. Okay, in your resume you'll keep some project, right? So for that also you can prepare a small work pool. You can, a small notes you can maintain. When they ask you in interviews, you can immediately say that this is the work pool we used for our application. Okay, and what are the classes under the work pool? You can see is based on the case names we have entered. Okay, some case type names we have entered, right? So based on this case names, what are the case names we have entered, same names it will generate as classes here. Okay, so each case is considered as a separate module, right? Okay, each case is considered as a separate module. So inside the case what we will do, okay, what is the difference between a case and class here? So generally case is a module. Inside the case we are going to define the, inside a case we are going to define the business flow of the application. Okay, business flow of the application. So means how many stages are there inside the application and what is the business process we are going to define inside the case. So just the structure we are going to define. Okay, the entire diagrammatical or structure we are going to define inside the case. Means how many stages are there and how many process are there. Process is nothing but a flow. Okay, process is nothing but a flow. And what are the data tables attached to this case? Okay, how many tables are there for this case? So stages and process and data types also we can attach to the case. So all these things comes under the cases. So just we are going to define the business flow for this case. Okay, and what is a class? So class is an instance of an application. Okay, so first of all class is an instance and all the design will take place inside the class. So what are the design we do? So the designing we are going to add inside the class. Okay, so for example loans case is there. So inside the loans case what we will do, we are going to define the business flow of the application. How many stages are there again inside the loans, how many loan types are there, okay, how many units are there. Okay, all those things we can define in the, just by giving the names. Stages are nothing but just names will enter. How many two stages are there or three stages are there, we are going to just give the names. And under the process are nothing but a flow names. Okay, flow means, so what is the starting point, okay, what is the ending point, and in between that what are the pages, different pages we have to add, where business logic must be added, where conditions we have to implement. So all those things we can implement in the process. Okay, this process and all we are going to define using a tool called modular tool. Again Pega contains internal tool for adding the flows also. Okay, in the next coming sessions you'll get. And inside the class, okay, so with the same name class is generated, right? That is loans class. Inside the class we are going to add the rules. Okay, so we are going to add rules under the class. So you'll get some requirement, right? Client will give some requirement. According to the client requirement, so we are going to design, means we are going to add the rules under the loans class. All the design we are going to add under the loans class. So case is, but case names and class names will be same. Okay, remember, so based on the case names only these classes are generated. Okay, what are the case names we entered, based on the case names only these class names are generated. Okay, so any application, not only here, in the real time if you work also, so the same kind of structure will be there. So based on the case types we entered, it is going to automatically generate the classes. Okay, and these classes are all comes under work classes. All these classes are work classes. So this is a parent work class and all these three classes are subclasses. Okay, so loans is a subclass, paytm is a subclass, and sample is a subclass. See, when developers are working in this application, some set of developers will work under the loans. Okay, so because loans is a separate module, Paytm is a separate module, and sample is a separate module. So what are the work we have to create under the loans? Few developers will work under the loans class. Okay, and some other set of developers will work under the sample, and some other set of developers will work under Paytm. Okay, so like that they'll get the application access will be same, maybe slightly different. Suppose if they're working under the loans class, so they may get access to parent class and only loans class, so they may not get access to Paytm and sample. Suppose you are one developer, you are working under some module under the application, so when they create the operate ready for you, they may give access to the parent class and the subclass, and these two classes you may not access. Paytm class and sample class you may not get access. Okay, depend upon your seniority and depend upon the role in the organization, you may get access to maybe all classes or few classes access only you may get. Okay, that depends upon your role in the organization. So like that, so when they want to work on the loans, so anything they want to create under the loans class means right click on loans. And yesterday I told you, right, Pega, if you want to add anything in the application, so we have to create from the rule type. Okay, so these are all the rule types, and under each rule type we'll have some rules will be there. Okay, so these are the things we are going to create in the application also in the real time. So when to create, how to create all these rules, okay, depend upon the requirement, we'll see from tomorrow. So before that, I'll give some basic introduction about the class concept here. Okay, see, these classes are all automatically generated by the server. Okay, so I told you Pega application contains three class groups, and by default when you open the application, you can see work class, you can see. And apart from that, automatically in the backend, data classes and integration classes are also generated. Okay, data classes and integration classes are also generated. If you want to see them, if you want to view those data class group and integration class group means inside app explorer there is something called class explorer. This is the class explorer window. So if you want to open all the other classes in the application, if you want to see all the other classes in the application, you can see here. Okay, integration data class is there, sorry, data class group is there, integration class group is there, work class group is there, and these are all the subclasses under the work class. Loans, Paytm and sample are subclasses under the work class. And there will be something called history class. Okay, history class will maintain all the records history. Okay, so you will be creating the record for the first time, then you will modify in the second day, another developer will modify the record. So like that, for each and every record will maintain some history, all the interaction, all the iterations history will be maintained. Okay, so automatically it will be created in the backend. So these are all the default classes generated by the server in the backend as part of application setup. Okay, till here no need to worry. So all these will be generated by you. You will not create any of these classes manually. But what is the purpose of work classes and what is the difference between the work class group, data class group and integration class group is, see, inside the work classes, so we are going to add the actual design. Okay, so like all the initial creation like properties, user interface, adding conditions, okay, adding business logic, validations, notifications. So what is what flows, workflow creation. So all those things, actual basic 80% of the design we'll add in the work classes. And in the data classes, we are going to add few things like tables creation. Okay, so properties creation, and there is something called data pages. So anytime if you want to load any data dynamically, so we are going to create a rule called data page rule. So for adding data pages, and in some cases for the properties used in the table, so for the data class properties used in the tables, so we can also sometimes add conditions. So depend upon the scenarios and requirement. So many things in the data class also we can do some common things what we are doing in the work classes. Okay, that one when I do some scenarios you can easily understand when to create the things in the work class, when to create the things in the data class. By end of the training you can get some clear picture and idea on that. Okay, in integration classes, mostly So for integrating, for any connecting to any external server, if you want to connect to any external server or anything, we can work under the integration classes. Okay, so like connecting to external, if you want to map some external data to the Pega application. Okay, so if you want to give some request to external server and get the response, so in such cases we have to work on integration classes. So like this, in the Pega application, when you are working, so these three class groups only will work. Okay, so these are the three class groups will be working in the real time. Any application, it can be any domain, any real time application you work in any company, this structure is common. Maybe the class names may change. Maybe we have given the organization name as city and application name as Citibank. In the real time, you may give different application name and organization name. Apart from that, the structure will be same in any kind of any application. If you work in the real time also, you will have the same structure. Okay. So remember, so these class groups only. Anytime if you work on Pega, so you'll be working under these three class groups: work class groups, data class group, and integration class group. Okay, so these are the default classes it will be generated in the application as part of application setup. Okay, and there is so much concept is there regarding the classes. So Pega also contains something called some default classes will be there in Pega. Okay, so you understand the difference between the case and class, right? Anybody any questions still here? Okay, regarding the application setup and how these classes are generated by default. Okay, any questions if you want to ask anything, you can ask me. So before moving to the next topic, so first of all, if you are everything clear till here, or if you have any questions, you can ask me, because it's very important. If you understand this concept, you can work on any application. How these classes are and all generated. Okay, how these subclasses are generated. If you have the basic idea, then you can work on any application. If you want to ask me any questions, you can ask me. Yes, anyone any question?
No, Hari. Hello,
Yeah, yeah. Yes, tell me.
Hari. Hari.
Yes, tell me. I can hear you.
I cannot see your. I cannot see your
Is it
screen, Hari.
is it once rejoin again? Disconnect and log out from this meeting and rejoin again. It will be fine. Okay, others can see,
Okay.
right? Everyone is able to see the screen, right? Maybe problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, only just rejoin, Hari. It will be easy. Okay, so like this, so till here this setup will be configured in every application. Okay, you will not create these things in the real time. Okay, so then there is a small thing called see, for all what are the classes we created in the application. So for all these classes there will be something super class will be there in Pega. So all these classes, work classes, data classes, and integration classes are derived from a super class called @base class. So all these classes are derived from a super class called @base class. So where you can see this hierarchy means, see when you click on any class here, okay. So if you click on any class here, so right click on this class, for example under the work pool or under the work class group, you can see something called inheritance. Okay, you can see something called inheritance here. So inheritance also will be automatically created, and you can see here what is the super class here. Okay, in the inheritance, so all these work classes or any class. Okay, so any class in Pega will be derived from a super class called @base class. Okay, any class in Pega, it will be derived from a super class called @base class. So under that you can see the work classes, cover classes, then top level class, then your class name, and finally your work pool name. Okay, so finally you can see the work pool name. So like this, so classes are automatically generated in the backend, and some inheritance also will be generated in the backend. Okay, so similarly if you see the subclass, if you open any subclass, right click on that, click on inheritance. So like this here also you can see. So under the see if any subclass is generated, so for the subclass the parent class will be your work pool. Okay, for all the subclasses the parent class will be your work pool. Okay, so one more thing is under the subclass we cannot add a subclass here. Okay, under the loans we cannot add a subclass. Any subclass if you want to create in Pega means from the parent class only we can add. Okay, see under the loans we cannot add a subclass here. Any subclass if you want to create, right click on the class. Actually we will not add manually. Maximum all the classes will be generated automatically only, but there is a scope. Okay, if you want to, if suppose if you manually add a case, if you are manually adding a case means then we have to add a class manually. Okay, so there is a scope here. Suppose if a case is added manually means class also we have to add manually. As part of setup means based on the case name it will automatically generate the classes. But if a case you are adding manually means then class also if you have to add manually. But maximum it will not happen in the real time. No need to worry. Okay, you will not add any classes or cases manually. Maximum automatically at the time of application setup only they will define all the cases. Okay, so for all the classes in Pega the super class is at the rate base class, and under this at the rate base class we have all these classes, that is work hyphen. Actually why work hyphen means, so all these are abstract classes. Okay, so work hyphen, data hyphen, int hyphen, history hyphen. So all these classes are derived from this super class called at the rate base class. Okay, so any class in Pega will be derived from a class called at the rate base class, and these are all, so work hyphen, data hyphen and all, so subclasses for the at the rate base class. So the structure and all no need to worry, you will not define any inheritance manually. So automatically server will generate all this inheritance. Okay, so next thing is we are going to discuss about uh, okay, not now, in tomorrow's session, just I'm giving a basic idea. See what are the classes we generated right now. Again these classes are categorized into two types. Basic means the backend, in the backend structure, so these two classes will be of two types. One is abstract classes. It's a same Java concept only implemented in Pega also, but it is a backend thing. We will not manually add anything. Just you need to know which classes are abstract and which classes are concrete. I'll give a basic idea, and tomorrow's session I'll explain in detail. See, integration classes comes under abstract type. Okay, we have integration class group is generated, right? Integration class group comes under abstract type, and the work class group and data class group comes under concrete type. Work class group and data class group comes under concrete type. So tomorrow I'm going to differentiate between these two. So how these why integration classes are abstract and why work and data class groups are concrete, I'm going to differentiate tomorrow, because already in today's session you have more new things we have seen. In tomorrow's session, once again I'll give all the definitions for the terminologies, okay, different terms we are going to use in the application, and after this we are going to start the data model thing. Okay, so we are going to start the work with the data model thing. Okay, data model is one of the important thing in the real time. Also any work if you receive, the first thing we have to start with the tables creation or properties creation. Okay, so when if time is there we'll see how to add the tables in the application and how to add the properties and all, we'll see tomorrow. Okay, any questions still here? So no need to worry till here. In every
No.
application this setup will be there. Okay, just understand the concept. Okay, how these classes are generated and how the structure is there. Okay, just how these layers are automatically generated, just understand the setup. Okay, that is fine. Yes, you can ask.
Hari, I mean, can we get this software?
Yeah, you will get the software everyone. Yeah, who is this? Prem Chen. Okay.
Right, right.
Okay, yeah, everybody everyone will get the software.
And whatever, I mean, weekly, how many sessions?
5 to 6 days we'll have a week. Monday to Saturday, IST. Okay, so 5 to
Monday
6
to
days a week.
Saturday.
Yeah, Monday to
Okay.
Saturday. That will be default one. Okay, these are the default classes it will generate. So work will compulsory.
Okay.
The name will be, the class group name will be work only. Any application.
Okay. So data class group and integration class group, where can we find these? Because we have seen the work pool, and under that we have
Yeah,
3 different classes
yeah, I told you
which we
right.
have, I mean,
Okay,
cases that
you
we
can
have.
find in the App Explorer. Under this, you can see something called Class Explorer. Okay, so generally,
Okay.
when you add the tables, automatically it will show in the drop down. As of now, if you want to see the data class groups and all, you can see here
Oh,
in the App Explorer. So later, after actually, so this is the parent class, and under this, when you add the tables, you will add some subclass names you will include under the data and integration. So we can add these classes in the App
okay.
Explorer in the future. Okay, when tables are created, what you have to do is we can add these classes to the App Explorer. There is something called pinned classes option. Any new classes if you want to open and if you want to create anything under this class, you can add them to the pinned classes. I'll show it later, not now. In the coming sessions you'll get. Again you will get confused about these things. So by default you'll get work classes. Okay. And if you want to add the data classes
Okay.
and integration classes also, we have to map it manually. Okay, we can manually add it to the App
Okay.
Explorer. There is something called pinned classes. Okay, any new class if you want to add, so work classes will be like that only. And additionally, if you want to add any other classes, we can add to the pinned classes list, like a bookmark we can say. Okay, you are bookmarking the class name. When the task is done, you can unpin that one, unpin the remove from the pinned classes. It will be removed.
So by default we'll have 3 parent classes, right?
Yeah, by default means if you have given 5 case names, you will have 5 classes. Now parent
So these are the
classes, why
subclasses which are
not why 5 parent classes? Yeah, parent classes will be 3 only. Parent classes will be only 3.
okay.
Work, data, and integration.
Okay.
Okay, work, data, and
Okay.
integration. Okay, by default you'll get
Okay.
these 3 classes generated: work, data, and integration.
Can you give the definition of workflow? One
Workful
second.
is an instance of an application. It is just an instance of an application. Okay, it is a primary class. Under that only we are adding all the remaining things. Okay, and in order to one more thing, few more
Right.
terminologies are there. Tomorrow I'll discuss. Okay, so there is something called rule set. Means from now, what are the work we create in this application? It will be saved in some repository called rule set. Okay, so that one is also generated by the application setup only, but you cannot see it now. When I create any new rule tomorrow, I'll show that option.
Yeah.
Yeah, some terminologies are there. I'm going to discuss tomorrow. So definitions and all I'll give.
Sure.
Today, maybe in the I'll share some documentation regarding the definitions and all. And from tomorrow, meeting link is going to change. Only enrolled students will get the new meeting link to attend tomorrow's session. Okay. So once who enroll, they will only get the new meeting link from tomorrow, guys. So contact your coordinator. So it is CSA up to 3 years experience if you are keeping. CSA is enough. If you are keeping 3 to 6 years, up to 3 to 6 years experience, CWSC is sufficient.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do again
Yeah.
more
Sure.
information regarding the certification. I'll share details with you guys. Okay, how to prepare
Sure.
and what to prepare. I'll give more information.
Sure.
Okay, so
So
any questions?
once we do this course, you know, we go in as a CSA. Where do we
Yeah.
fit in a project life cycle? Do we take inputs from, you know, uh, business understanding and map it onto
Yeah,
Pega?
that's right. Yes, business analyst will give you the requirement documents and they'll map it to the work. So what are the tasks we are going to work? So they'll attach a document or they'll give some description for us. So we have to follow the description. We have to do the things in the application. So where the work will be
So can
assigned.
all these jobs be done remotely as well?
Yeah, remote also supports, but maximum companies you'll go to company and you will work. Yeah, if you need 1 or 2 days means you can work remotely also. Okay. So any questions? Okay, fine, guys. Okay. So tomorrow you'll get a new meeting link. So just enroll for the sessions and continue from tomorrow. Okay. So thank you, guys. Thank you. We'll see tomorrow.